What have I done now? Why do you want to hurt me? Are you all not my brothers?
Before there was a dream, before the betrayal, before the palace and the prison, there was a boy born into a complicated family, a miracle child born to a mother who had waited her whole life. This is where Joseph's story begins. Long ago in the land of Padan Aram, there lived a man named Jacob, son of Isaac, grandson of Abraham. He had 2 wives, Leah and Rachel. Though Leah gave Jacob many children, his heart belonged to Rachel. But Rachel could not have children, and her heart ached. One day, she went to pray and spoke to God.
Oh Lord, how long will I remain barren? Please, give me children, or I'll die.
God heard her cry and remembered her. At last, Rachel conceived and gave birth to a son.
God has taken away my shame. I will name him Joseph. May he add, may the Lord give me another son.
I thank you, God, for this is a son of my old age. And so Joseph was born, Jacob's 11th son, but the first son of his beloved Rachel. And from that moment on, he was dearly loved. But that love would one day stir up envy, and Joseph's life would never be the same. Joseph was a 17-year-old boy with a big heart and big dreams. He lived in Canaan with his father Jacob and 11 brothers. Out of all his sons, Jacob loved Joseph the most because he was the son of his old age. One day, he made him a beautiful coat with many colors. "My son Joseph, this coat is for you. Wear it proudly."
Wow, this is beautiful. Thank you, Daddy. I love it.
But that special love made Joseph's brothers jealous, and they hated him so well and could not speak peaceably to him. One night, Joseph had a dream. He told his brothers, and they hated him even more.
Last night, I had a dream. We were in the field tying bundles of grain, and suddenly my bundled grains arose and stood upright, and indeed, your bundles stood around and bowed down to mine.
The brothers frowned their faces, and one of them said,
"Oh, really? So now you think you're going to rule over us? Dream on, little brother."
So they hated him even more for his dreams and his words. Then he dreamed another dream and told it to his brothers again.
Look, I have dreamed another dream. I saw the sun, the moon, and 11 stars bowing to me.
Do you really think we'll bow to you?
He told his father, and he rebuked him. He then asked him, "What is this dream that you have dreamed? Shall your mother and I and your brothers indeed come to bow down to the earth before you?" His brothers became angrier and hated him more. It was concerning for the father, Jacob, but he kept the matter in mind. But Joseph believed the dreams came from God. One day, the brothers went to feed their father's flock in Shechem. So his father said to him, "Are your brothers not feeding the flock in Shechem? Come, I will send you to them." Joseph responded and said,
Here I am, Daddy.
Joseph went out of the valley of Hebron to check on his brothers in the fields in Shechem. Now he was wandering around in the field when a certain man saw him and asked,
"Who are you looking for, young boy?"
Please, I am looking for my brothers. Tell me where they are feeding the flocks.
"They have departed from here, for I heard them say, 'Let us go to Dothan.'"
So Joseph went after his brothers and found them in Dothan. But when they saw him coming, their anger boiled over.
Look, here comes the dreamer. Come, therefore, let us now take his life and cast him into some pit. Then we shall say some wild beast has devoured him. We shall see what will become of his dreams.
Reuben heard of their plan, and he came to Joseph's rescue.
"Let's not take his life. Why should we shed any blood? Let's just throw him into this empty pit here in the wilderness. Then he'll die without our laying a hand on him."
But Reuben had another plan. He was secretly planning to rescue Joseph and return him to his father. When Joseph got to his brothers, they grabbed him.
Please, what have I done now? Why do you want to hurt me? Are you all not my brothers?
They tore off his colorful coat. He asked for mercy, but they showed him none and threw him into a deep pit. Then they sat down to eat bread. Later, they saw a group of Ishmaelites coming from Gilead, with their camels bearing spices, balm, and myrrh, carrying it down to Egypt. Then Judah said to his brothers,
"What profit is it if we kill our brother and cover up his blood? Come, let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, and let us not lay our hand on him, for he is our brother and our flesh."
So his brothers agreed. Then, when the Midianite traders passed by, they drew Joseph up and lifted him out of the pit. They sold Joseph to the Ishmaelites for 20 shekels of silver, and they took Joseph to Egypt. Reuben didn't know about this. So later, Reuben returned to the dry well, and he saw that Joseph was not there. He tore his clothes because he was very upset. Reuben went back to his brothers. He said to them,
"The boy is not in the well. What can I do now?"
The brother told him what they had done, so they killed a goat and took its blood. They put the blood all over Joseph's special coat. They took the coat back to their father, and they asked him,
"We found this coat. Look at it. Tell us if it is your son's coat."
Jacob was so upset. "Oh no, it is my son's coat. Probably a wild animal must have eaten him. The animal has torn Joseph's body into pieces. I caused this." He tore his clothes. He put on sackcloth to show how sad he was. He wept for many days because his son had died. All Jacob's sons and daughters came to comfort him. But Jacob was very sad, so they could not make him happy. "I will be sad until the day that I die, because my son is dead." Jacob wept because Joseph was dead. Joseph had gone from favored son to slave, but even now, God was with him. In Egypt, Joseph was sold to Potiphar, a powerful official in Pharaoh's court, as a slave. The Lord was with Joseph, so that good things happened to him. Joseph lived in the house of Potiphar, his Egyptian master. Joseph worked hard, served faithfully, and was put in charge of the whole household of Potiphar. From the time that Potiphar gave Joseph authority over everything in his house, the Lord blessed the people of Potiphar's house, his animals and his crops. The Lord blessed Potiphar because of Joseph. But then trouble came again. After some time had passed, Potiphar's wife saw that Joseph was handsome. She then tempted him to sin.
"Come lie with me."
But Joseph refused to do that.
"No, please. I can't do this. My master is not concerned about anything because he trusted me and has left everything in my care. No one has more authority in this house than I do. My master keeps nothing from me, except you. That is because you are his wife. I can't do such a bad thing to him. This will be a great sin against God."
The woman talked with Joseph every day, but he refused to sleep with her. One day, Joseph went into the house to do his work. He was the only man in the house at the time. Then Potiphar's wife came to him and caught him by his garment and said to him,
"Come lie with me. No one is here."
She kept pursuing Joseph. But Joseph ran out of the house so fast that he left a torn part of his garment in her hand. Potiphar's wife told a lie about Joseph, since she had a part of Joseph's garment in her hand. She first summoned the people in Potiphar's house and said,
"See, he has brought in this Hebrew to mock us. He came to me to lie with me, and I cried out with a loud voice, but I screamed. My screams scared him, and he ran away, but he left some part of his garment with me."
Then she kept his garment until her husband, Joseph's master, came home. She told her husband the same story. She said to him,
"The Hebrew servant whom you brought to us came in to me to mock me. So as I lifted my voice and cried out and screamed, he left his garment with me and fled outside."
Joseph's master listened to what his wife said, and he became very angry. So Potiphar put Joseph into the prison where the king's enemies were held, and that is where Joseph remained. Still, Joseph didn't lose hope. Even behind bars, God was working in his story. The commander of the guards put Joseph in charge of all the prisoners. Joseph was their leader, but he still did the same work they did. The Lord helped Joseph be successful in everything he did. Later, 2 of Pharaoh's servants did something wrong to Pharaoh. These servants were the chief baker and the man who served wine to Pharaoh. The Pharaoh became angry with his chief baker and wine server, so he put them in the same prison as Joseph. Potiphar, the commander of Pharaoh's guards, was in charge of this prison. The commander put the 2 prisoners under Joseph's care. The 2 men continued to stay in prison for some time. One night, both of the prisoners had a dream. The chief baker and the wine server each had their dream, and each dream had its meaning. Joseph went to them the next morning and saw that the 2 men were worried.
Why do you look so worried today?
We both had dreams last night, but we don't understand what we dreamed. There is no one to explain the dreams to us.
God is the only one who can understand and explain dreams. So I beg you, tell me your dreams.
So the wine server told Joseph his dream.
I dreamed I saw a vine. On the vine there were 3 branches. I watched the branches grow flowers and then become grapes. I was holding Pharaoh's cup, so I took the grapes and squeezed the juice into the cup. Then I gave the cup to Pharaoh.
This sounds good. I will explain the dream to you. The 3 branches mean 3 days. Before the end of 3 days, Pharaoh will forgive you and allow you to go back to your work. You will do the same work for Pharaoh as you did before. But when you are free, remember me. Be good to me and help me. Tell Pharaoh about me so that I can get out of this prison. I was kidnapped and taken from the land of my people, the Hebrews. I have done nothing wrong. I should not be in prison.
The chief baker saw that the other servant's dream was good. So he said to Joseph,
I also had a dream. I dreamed there were 3 baskets of bread on my head. In the top basket there were all kinds of baked food for the king, but the birds were eating this food.
I will tell you what the dream means, but it is not what you might want to hear. The 3 baskets mean 3 days. Before the end of 3 days, the king will take you out of this prison and cut off your head. He will hang your body on a pole, and the birds will eat it.
3 days later, on Pharaoh's birthday, he held a feast and released the wine server and baker from prison. He restored the wine server to his position, but the baker was hanged, just as Joseph had predicted. Yet, the wine server forgot about Joseph and said nothing to Pharaoh. 2 years later, Pharaoh had a dream. He stood by the Nile and saw 7 healthy cows come out and graze. Then 7 thin, sickly cows emerged and devoured the healthy ones. Pharaoh woke up, disturbed by the dream. Pharaoh had a second dream. He saw 7 full, healthy heads of grain on one stalk, followed by 7 thin, scorched heads that swallowed the healthy ones. Disturbed, he awoke. The next morning, troubled by both dreams, he called Egypt's magicians and wise men and told them his dreams, but none could explain their meaning. Then the wine servant said to Pharaoh, "Of Joseph,
I remember something. When you were angry with the baker and me, we were put in prison. One night we both had dreams. A young Hebrew man there, a servant of the guard, explained them to us. Everything he said came true. I was restored to my position, and the baker was executed."
The Pharaoh sent for Joseph, and the guards quickly brought him from prison. After shaving and changing clothes, Joseph stood before Pharaoh.
I had a dream no one can explain, but I've heard you can interpret dreams.
Your Highness, I cannot, but God can explain the dream for you.
Pharaoh then described his dreams.
I was by the Nile, and 7 healthy cows came out of the river, followed by 7 thin, sickly cows that ate the healthy ones, but still looked sick. Then I dreamed of 7 full heads of grain, followed by 7 thin, scorched ones that swallowed the good ones.
Both dreams mean the same thing. God is showing what will soon happen. The 7 good cows and 7 good heads of grain represent 7 years of abundance. The 7 thin cows and thin heads of grain are 7 years of famine that will follow. There will be plenty of food for 7 years, but then a severe famine will come and wipe out the memory of the good years, devastating the land. Pharaoh, the 2 dreams mean God is certain to make this happen, and soon. So choose a wise man to oversee Egypt. Appoint officials to collect 1/5 of the harvest during the 7 good years and store it in cities. That way, there will be enough food during the 7 years of famine, and Egypt won't be ruined.
Pharaoh and his officials liked the plan. Pharaoh said to Joseph,
Who could be better than Joseph? God's Spirit is clearly in him. Now God showed these things to you, so you must be the wisest man. I will put you in charge of my country, and the people will obey all your commands. I will be the only one more powerful than you.
Then Pharaoh gave his special ring to Joseph. Pharaoh said to Joseph,
I now make you governor over all of Egypt. I am Pharaoh, and without your consent, no man may lift his hand or foot in all the land of Egypt. And from now on, you will be called Zaphnath-Paaneah, the revealer of secret.
The royal seal was on this ring. Pharaoh also gave Joseph a fine linen robe and put a gold chain around his neck. Then he told Joseph to ride in a chariot, and they cried out before him, Bow the knee! So he set him over all the land of Egypt. He also gave Joseph a wife named Asenath. She was the daughter of Potiphera, a priest in the city of On. So Joseph became the governor over the whole country of Egypt. Joseph was 30 years old when he began serving Pharaoh and traveled throughout Egypt. During the 7 good years, he gathered and stored large amounts of grain in each city, so much that it was beyond measure, like the sand of the sea. Before the famine began, Joseph and his wife Asenath, daughter of Potiphera, the priest of On, had 2 sons. He named the first Manasseh, saying, God made me forget my hardships and my father's house. The second he named Ephraim, saying, God has made me fruitful in the land of my suffering. There was plenty of food for 7 years. But then the famine began, just as Joseph had said. No crops grew in the surrounding lands, but Egypt had food because Joseph had stored grain. When the people cried out to Pharaoh, he told them,
Go to Joseph, whatever he says to you, do.
Joseph opened the storehouses and sold grain to the Egyptians. The famine was severe in Egypt and all around, so people from other countries also came to buy food from Joseph. When Jacob heard there was grain in Egypt, he said to his sons, Why are you just standing around? I've heard there's food in Egypt. Go and buy some so we don't starve to death. So 10 of Joseph's brothers went to Egypt to buy grain. But Jacob didn't send Benjamin, afraid something bad might happen to him. The brothers traveled to Egypt along with others, since the famine had also reached Canaan. Joseph, now the governor of Egypt, was in charge of selling grain. When his brothers arrived, they bowed before him. Joseph recognized them, but they didn't know who he was. He pretended to be a stranger and spoke harshly, asking,
Where are you people from? You look suspicious.
From Canaan? We came to buy food.
Joseph remembered his dreams about them. Later, he then accused them, saying,
You're spies. You've come to see where our land is weak.
Reuben replied,
No, my lord. We're honest men, all sons of one man. We came only to buy food.
Joseph insisted that they were spies and had come to see the weakness of the land. One of them said,
Your servants are 12 brothers, the sons of one man in the land of Canaan. And in fact, the youngest is with our father today, and one is no more.
I told you you are spies. Here's how I'll test you. By Pharaoh's life, you won't leave until your youngest brother comes here. One of you can go bring him while the rest stay in prison to prove your story. If not, you're spies.
Then he put them in prison for 3 days. On the 3rd day, Joseph went into the prison and made a demand of them, saying,
Do this, and live, for I fear God. If you're honest, one brother will stay in prison while the rest take grain home. Then bring your youngest brother back to prove your words and stay alive.
They agreed and said to each other,
"We're being punished for what we did to our brother. We saw his pain and didn't help him."
Didn't I warn you not to harm the boy? Now his blood is on us.
They didn't know Joseph understood them since he used an interpreter. Joseph turned away and wept. Then he returned, chose Simeon, and ordered him to be tied up before them. Joseph ordered his servants to fill his brothers' sacks with grain, return their money into each sack, and give them food for the journey. They loaded their donkeys and left. Later, one brother opened his sack to feed his donkey and found his money inside. Shocked, he told the others,
"Look, my money has been returned in my sack."
They were frightened and said,
"What is this that God has done to us?"
When they returned to Canaan, they told their father Jacob everything.
The ruler of Egypt spoke harshly and accused us of being spies. We told him we are 12 brothers. One is gone, and the youngest is with our father. He said to prove we're honest, one brother must stay behind while we take grain home, then bring our youngest brother back. Only then will he release the brother and let us trade in the land.
As they later emptied their sacks, each brother found his bundle of money inside. When they and their father saw this, they were afraid. They told Jacob the request before they come back to Egypt, and Jacob didn't like it. He said, "You've taken everything from me. Joseph is gone, Simeon is gone, and now you want to take Benjamin. Everything is against me." Reuben then assured him, saying,
"Trust me with him. If I don't bring him back, you can kill my 2 sons. I will take care of him."
Jacob still didn't agree to what they said. After some time, the famine was still severe, and they had eaten all the grain from Egypt. Jacob said to his sons, "Go back and buy us a little more food."
The man warned us clearly, "You won't see me again unless your brother is with you. If you send Benjamin with us, we'll go. But if not, we can't, because he told us not to come without him."
"Why did you even tell him you had another brother?"
He asked directly about our family, our father, and any other brothers. We just answered him. We didn't know that he would demand we bring Benjamin.
"Send Benjamin with me so we can go and live, not die. I'll take full responsibility. If I don't bring him back, you can blame me forever. If we hadn't waited, we could have already returned by now."
"If it must be done, then take gifts of the best fruits, balm, honey, spices, myrrh, pistachios, and almonds. Take double the money and return the money that was found in your sacks. It may have been a mistake. Take your brother too, and go back to the man. May God Almighty give you mercy, so he releases both your brother and Benjamin. If I lose them, I lose them." So they took the gifts, double the money, and Benjamin, and went to Egypt. When Joseph saw Benjamin, he stood in shock. He then told his steward, saying,
"Take them to my house and prepare a meal. They will dine with me at noon."
Then the man did as Joseph ordered. But the brothers were afraid and said to themselves,
"It must be about the money from last time. They'll accuse us and make us slaves."
One of them approached the steward of Joseph and said,
"We came to buy food. When we stopped for the night, we found our money in our sacks. We brought it back, along with more money to buy food. We don't know how it got there."
Don't worry, your God, the God of your father, put treasure in your sacks. I received your payment.
Then he brought Simeon out and took them all into Joseph's house, gave them water to wash their feet, and fed their donkeys. They prepared for the dining feast with Joseph. During the feast, Joseph asked,
"How is your father, the old man you spoke of? Is he still alive?"
"Your servant, our father, is well and still alive."
Joseph looked at Benjamin, his own full brother of the same mother, and asked,
"Is this your youngest brother you told me about?"
"Yes, my lord, he is the one."
"God be gracious to you, my son."
Moved with emotion, Joseph quickly left to weep in private. After washing his face and regaining control, he returned and said, "Serve the bread." They ate and drank happily together. Joseph told his steward to fill their sacks with food and return each man's money, but place my silver cup in the youngest Benjamin's sack. The steward did exactly that. In the morning, the brothers left. Shortly after, Joseph sent his steward to stop them and accuse them of stealing the master's cup. The brothers were shocked. They opened their sacks, and the cup was found in Benjamin's sack. They all trembled because they knew their little brother would not do that. They returned to Joseph's house with their donkeys. Joseph said to them,
"Why have you done this? Didn't you know that I have a special way of learning secrets? No one is better at this than I am."
Sir, there is nothing we can say. There is no way to show that we are not guilty. God has judged us guilty of something else we have done. So all of us, even Benjamin, will be your slaves.
I will not make you all slaves. Only the man who stole the cup will be my slave. You others can go in peace to your father.
Sir, please let me speak. You asked if we had a father or brother, and we told you about our old father and his youngest son, whom he loves deeply. You told us to bring him, but we warned that, if he left, our father might die. When we went home, our father begged us not to take the boy, saying he had already lost one son and couldn't bear to lose another, but we had to bring him to buy food. Now, if we return without him, our father will die of grief. I gave my word to protect the boy. Please, let him go home and keep me as your slave instead. I can't face my father without him."
Joseph could no longer hold back his emotions. He cried and ordered everyone but his brothers to leave. Then he revealed his identity to them, saying,
"I am Joseph, your brother. Is my father still alive?"
His brothers were shocked and afraid. Joseph said to them,
"Come closer. I am the brother you sold into Egypt. Don't be upset with yourselves, it was God's plan. He sent me here to save lives during this famine, which will last 5 more years. God made me a leader in Egypt."
He then asked them to go and bring back the father, saying,
"Hurry back to my father. Tell him I'm the governor of Egypt. Bring him and the whole family to live near me in Goshen. I'll care for all of you through the famine."
Then he hugged Benjamin and cried with him and kissed all his brothers. Afterward, they finally spoke with him. As they left, he told them, "Go safely and don't argue on the way." The brothers returned to Canaan and told Jacob,
"Joseph is alive. He's the governor of Egypt. He wants to see you."
At first, Jacob didn't believe them, but when he saw the wagons and heard all Joseph had said, his spirit revived. "My son Joseph is alive. I must go see him before I die." Jacob began his journey to Egypt and stopped in Beersheba to worship God, offering sacrifices. That night, God spoke to him in a dream.
"Jacob, don't be afraid to go to Egypt. I will make you a great nation there. I will go with you and bring you back again. Joseph will be with you when you die."
Jacob then left Beersheba, and his sons took him, their wives, children, and all they owned in the wagons Pharaoh had sent. They brought all their livestock and possessions, and the entire family, sons, daughters, and grandchildren went with him to Egypt. When Joseph heard his father was coming, he prepared his chariot and went to meet him. As soon as he saw Jacob, he hugged him and wept for a long time. Now, Joseph settled his family in the best land of Egypt. Jacob later blesses Pharaoh. Joseph's story is a powerful reminder. Even when life takes a hard turn, even when people hurt you, even when dreams feel distant, God is still with you. He can use every part of your journey for something greater. So don't give up. Keep believing. Keep forgiving. Keep trusting God, because the story isn't over yet. Thanks for joining us on the journey of Joseph. If this story gave you hope, share it with someone who needs it. And remember, God can turn any pain into purpose, any trial into triumph. But as for you, you meant evil against me, but God meant it for good, in order to bring it about as it is this day, to save many people alive. Genesis 50 verse 20.